This is the Rebound Tampa Bay podcast. I'm James Tully. Today we're looking ahead to the holidays, and if you need some help or you're in a position to give some help, the organization I'm talking to today is in a position to help you do just that or receive just that. We're checking in this week with Metropolitan Ministries. He's a very busy man this time of year. His name is Tim Marks. He's the CEO of Metropolitan Ministries here in Tampa Bay. And Tim is joining us here on the Rebound Tampa Bay podcast. Holidays are going to be much different, even more stressful for you guys than they usually are, Tim.
Yeah, James, they are. We use that word unprecedented a lot these days. And it has been unprecedented about 34 weeks of serving families in our parking lot. Over 54,000 food boxes have been distributed, so we know the need is significant. We've been planning on a significant increase this holiday season as we prepare to help families this Thanksgiving and Christmas season.
Yeah, very important time for so many, and it's just going to be a whole lot more challenging given the circumstances we're all facing now. You make it pretty clear on your website that in 48 years of doing this with the holiday tent, in the history of your entire organization, you expect to serve the most families ever in the next couple of months.
Yeah, we said that, and we see it, and we planned for 40,000 families, which is a 25% increase over what we were seeing in previous years. But we just met, and we think we might go as high as 50,000 families now. Just because of the initial demand, we launched a website to let families sign up online versus having to come to us. And in the first about 24 hours of operation, we crashed the site because there was so much demand. Mm-hmm. And to date, in that first 24 hours, about 4,000 families signed up. Normally, we could handle about 150 families a day when they used to come to us and fill out paperwork. To think that 4,000 slots have already been filled up just has us concerned that the need is going to continue to be significant. I'll add one other data point, and that is 39% of the people who've signed up to date are first-time families needing help for Thanksgiving and Christmas. 39% never asked for help before. And in Pinellas County alone, the number was in the 60% range of those that had signed up in Pinellas never asked for help from Metropolitan Ministries ever before.
I think some people may, how do I want to put this, Tim? I mean, I for those of us who maybe live in areas where the need isn't that great, or we don't know anybody in our circle who's lost their job or is really needing help like this, when you hear organizations like yours, and also we talked to Feeding Tampa Bay not too long ago on this podcast, who also brought up the same thing, the high numbers of people seeking out and needing help for the very first time. That really brings it all home, doesn't it?
It really does. And one of the things that we've done is when people sign up online, if they're comfortable, they can share a little bit of what their experience is and what they're dealing with. And two families shared their story this past weekend, and it really struck me. One was a disabled widow with a teen just trying to make it through this COVID scenario, and they're really struggling, and they need help. And then another single mom of three had her hours reduced because of COVID, and she's trying to make things work for her family. And I just can't imagine a family not being able to gather around and have Thanksgiving, or kids not having presents at Christmas. And so that's why we're just trying to do everything we can in an enhanced manner this year than we've ever done before.
I mean, I'm struck by the 39% number. I'm also struck by the 150 families a day in a normal time up to thousands. It just sounds so daunting. So how are you guys handling it over there, Tim? What are you doing to keep your sanity and provide help?
Well, one of the things that we've done is really had a lot of purpose-driven strategies to turn ourselves inside out. Instead of making everybody come to the holiday tent in Tampa, do we want a mom to take two buses from the university area and come get food and then take two buses back home? And we said, no, we didn't want to do that. So we had preliminary conversations with Sarah Combs and the University Area CDC, and we're partnering with them so that we can do a food distribution and a toy distribution in that community. So we have 65 different partners that we have signed up. Some are going to help us do home deliveries. Some are going to be in their own community. Like, we know there's a need in South St. Pete but the folks that are in South St. Pete, they know the need by name. So we're freely donating all this food and toys to those agencies that are in those community. Again, 65 different partners. But if families go online to sign up, they can see who's closest to them, and they can sign up to pick the time and the location they get their food and toys, which is something we've never been able to offer before. So we've really used a lot of technology and systems and processes to prepare for this, because we knew the need was going to be great, but we also wanted to make it easier for our families as well as safe in a COVID environment for them to receive the things that many of us will take for granted this holiday season.
I got to say, it's really thoughtful of you guys, and you're evolving with the times. So many organizations have kind of been forced to do that, but also they found some silver linings in that they have relied on some different technologies to distribute help or help people just in general. And they think that maybe in the years down the road, they'll still be using this in a different way. So there is that, that positivity there that, hey, look, we might have learned something new that can really help us and make us more powerful in the coming seasons.
Absolutely. There's anything that we can do to make it easier for the families we serve. We're all about that.
No doubt.
We're all about alleviating their suffering, promoting their dignity. That third element of our mission is to instill self-sufficiency. So we're always looking at new ways, and our organization is made up of a lot of great individuals. They have the growth mindset, in my opinion, that we can always strive to be better today, better tomorrow, and anything we can do to help people in need and more of them, and be good stewards of the gifts of your viewers and listeners who help us, because nothing good happens at Metropolitan Ministries without the community support. And that's what we're doing this season, as the community would expect us. Let's take each dollar, each turkey, each toy, and make it available to those who really need it the most. Be good stewards of those gifts that have been given to us.
Couldn't have put it better myself. He's Tim Marks, CEO, Metropolitan Ministries, joining us now on the Rebound Tampa Bay podcast. Back on the Monday, November 2nd, the holiday tent opened up. I want you to tell us all about the holiday tent, how it's different this year, how you're giving help, and how people can help out who are listening here.
Yeah, so our main tent location at, see if I got it right, 8609 or 2609? Yeah, 2609. North Rome Avenue in Tampa, as well as our Pasco location. And all our drop sites are on our website, metromin.org.
And I'll link it right up here in the description of this podcast. Don't worry about that.
Awesome. Well, we opened up for donations, and I was there when the first family came in with some donations. Weren't affluent people in any way, just people that were caring, and they were caring for their neighbors, and they brought what they could. And that's how we get this done. If everybody does their part, their little bit, we can help. And a lot of corporate groups and church groups are not volunteering or doing food drives this year because they're not even meeting as an organization. Therefore, they're not driving that message to volunteer and to do food drives. So we really need individuals and families to come alongside and help one other family. So take advantage of the BOGOs. All our volunteer slots are available online. If you want to help a family, you can sign up online. If you need help as a family, you can sign up online. But that main location on Rome Avenue will be open every day to receive donations. And we really need them, as we'll be distributing, again, in about a week and a half. Food will be going out of that tent to 6 different counties.
And the website is metromin.org. I will link it up here in the description of this podcast if you need help or want to give, if you're in a position to give this holiday season, talking between now, Thanksgiving, Christmas. That's metromin.org. It's all on the website. He's Tim Marks. Tim, I guess in closing here, I wanted to ask you guys just how you're holding up over there. You look like you've gotten some sleep. That extra hour we got a few days ago, that did us all, I think did this all pretty good here in a year like this. But you seem relaxed, like you guys are equipped to handle what's going to be one of the most challenging years in the history of your organization.
Yeah, most people would say we don't want an extra hour in 2020, right?
True.
It's been just a crazy year, crazy time. But when we this idea of spreading hope, That's what we choose. You can either spread dissension, you could spread discourse. Our choice is to spread hope. We think that that's the most powerful thing in all of the world, to really never lose sight of that. That there's things that need to change, and we have the courage to be involved in that change. And we've learned from our families that this experience gives them hope. What could be better to be involved in than to spread hope? And that's what we choose to do. And so many in the Tampa Bay community choose to do that, have been doing that with us for 48 years. We're so grateful for that. It's the best thing I think we all can possibly do, is be hopeful, spread that, and do that in real actions, not just words, real actions. And that's what this holiday experience is about, building a strong, caring Tampa Bay community. We believe in it, and I know the Tampa Bay community is a special place, really like no other place I've ever lived before. This community really does get it and does care for its neighbors.
I'll second that for sure. I'd have to ask you, though, as a faith-based organization like yours, this pandemic starts back in March, and the months of April and May and June, we were, our stay-at-home orders were probably at their peak at that point. And what were you doing mentally to prepare for this? I know you probably from a mile away saw that this holiday season could be really, really tough. Was there anything that you told yourself or told your team all the way back then?
It may not look like it, but I've run in 2 marathons, and I know what it means to train for a marathon and run in a marathon. And right off the bat, we said this is not going to be a sprint. This will be a marathon in response to the community. I will also say that 7 years ago, we made a commitment to become a trauma-informed care facility. And we went through a whole certification process. And this idea of being trauma-informed is caring for your staff so that they can care for others. Like if you keep emptying your tank, eventually you're going to have an empty tank and you're not going to be able to fill others. And so we really have got a very caring environment for our staff and for our volunteers. And that has really made a big difference for us as an organization, to work through this really one day at a time. But it's been so encouraging to see the community come alongside us throughout this entire journey. And we have been frontline workers that entire time. We did not have the choice of closing down. We have 100 families on this campus, 24 families on our Pasco campus. Our workload went up. So we had no choice but to respond to that. And we've had a tremendous effort by the staff and by the volunteers to come alongside, along with the community support, to help these families.
Tim Marks, thank you so much for your time here this morning on the Rebound Tampa Bay podcast. Again, the website's metromin.org. There's a link right there in the description of this podcast. If you need help or you want to give help, that is the place to go between now, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. Tim, have a great holiday. Best of luck to you. And here at ABC Action News, we've got your back. So if you need anything, just give us a shout.
We feel it. We appreciate it. Thank you so much, James.
The Rebound Tampa Bay podcast is available on all major podcast platforms. Also, you can listen to episodes on abcactionnews.com/rebound, and you can watch a video version of these episodes on the ABC Action News streaming news channel. I'm James Tully. Thanks for listening.